On virtually any item that we have in the show today, and it doesn't have to be just my show, it could be any show. All right, let's get started. Bell & Howell, y'all know how much I love this company, right? They create just the best stuff. I bought my 48in1 socket wrench about 3 years ago. I use it all the time. Why? I call it the tool of the year because it does so much. There's no more fumbling. I want to show it to you up close. What you've got here is you've got a socket wrench, but it's not a socket wrench where you have to keep replacing the socket. See, what they've done here is they've put all the most popular sockets on either end. So when you're working, right, if you need to fix something, right, so you turn it. If you need a different size, you just dial it up. You don't have to take it off, reconnect it, where you always lose them. You've got sizes, larger sizes on one side to fit most any job. And then on the other side, you've got all the smaller bits. So wrench sizes go from 8mm all the way up to 19mm. There's a 6-point bolt on here, a 12-point bolt. It works with spline, Torx, square bolts. And by the way, it's the most industrial tool I've ever seen. I absolutely love it. I have it available in the blue, the red, and the yellow. Comes with a little pouch. You will never lose any of those bolts again, any more of those little connectors, because they're all built right in this contractor grade, heavy duty stainless steel, even has a little rubber grip in the middle. Lou Caputo, standing by, gonna tell us about it. Hey, Lou.
Good morning, guy. Yeah, this is one of those tools where, like, when I first saw it, I was like, oh, it's another gimmick.
Oh, yeah.
But I use this thing. I really do. I use this all the time. And you know what's interesting about this is you were pointing out, like, I've got this whole board of bolts, easy for me to say, sitting here right next to me. And it has all the different sizes, you know, that this will work and more. But here's the thing. If you don't know the difference between a 3/4 and 19mm, it's really kind of the same thing. It's just standard and metric. It doesn't matter. If you are an expert with tools, this is for you. If you're somebody that's never used these before, it's for you. And the big deal is that this one tool is going to replace everything I've got in here and more. I mean, that's a big deal. So you're only carrying around just the one tool with you. The magic is right there in the end. When you look at that on the inside there, see all those teeth? There's about 16 teeth inside of this. That's what's going to grab these. And like you said a second ago, Guy, I don't care if it's a square bolt or 6-sided or 12-sided or a spline bolt or, you know, a hex bolt, Torx. It doesn't, even damaged bolts. It doesn't matter. This is going to grab onto them and it's going to turn them. And what's really cool about this is the way you use it. If I go to the largest size and I come up here, I can grab this one. I don't care if it's metric or standard. It doesn't matter. When I go down to the next size down, I just flick this around and I've got it right there. Flick it again. I've got the next one right there. And then if I want to go to the small ones, guess what? We give you a whole nother size with all of these on there as well. Plus, this comes with a carrying pouch, so you can bring this with you, carry with you. But, Guy, I have one in my toolbox. I've got one on my boat. I've got one in both of my vehicles. I mean, we have these all over the place because I know at the end of the day, I need to have something like this that's going to be able to tighten or loosen whatever I need it to.
Yeah, and really the problem is you always lose, you always lose those bolts, right? You always lose them. The sockets, especially the little ones. And you're trying to do a job, and then you go back into your socket kit, and you're like, where's that? I mean, I can't tell you how many times my son, Dan, has done that exact thing. Fixed a skateboard or working on his car. And then I'm like, Danny, I'm missing these bolts. Oh, yeah, I think they might be, I might have left them in the car. The nice thing is everything is attached. So you're never gonna have to like separately add something. They're all right there. And I also like, Lou, that I can adjust the angle. So if I'm working like, you know, down here, I can use it in this angle. I can use it in that angle. You know, with a regular, socket set, you're at 90 degrees. That's pretty much all you can do. But this gives you more freedom, right?
No, it does. And in fact, I'll show you that real quick here, because one of the things I love about this is we know when we work with a ratchet, you don't have to go all the way 360 degrees around. You know, with a ratchet, I can go up and down, up and down, up and down like that, and just in a very small space, turn it. It's the same thing with this. If I get this on the right size that I need, I can put this on here, spin it around. When I get to a certain point, see what I can do is I can turn the head. I actually had that on the wrong size right there. There we go. Spin it around, turn it, and just go around and turn it and just use it like that. So I don't have to go 360. The other thing about this, as you were saying, is I can go straight on. So that's a nice thing, and still be able to turn that bolt if I want to, even if I don't have room to put a traditional socket down there. And then the other thing, Guy, and this is one that you'll appreciate this too. if I have a long bolt like this, and let's say the nut's way down here, okay, and I've got a traditional socket, that's not going to go on there, okay? Now, I could use a deep socket. I have sets of those, but guess what? That's just more stuff I got to carry around with me. When you're using your bionic wrench, this goes all the way through. So that bolt, that socket, that is going to go right on through there. Now I can get to the bottom and I can work on what I need to. To me, that's a huge deal because that just expands even beyond the 48 pieces, what you can do with this. Because it's not just about the sizes, it's about the size of the socket. And this is going to do that job for you guys. And if you're looking for a gift for somebody, when they get this and they feel this in their hands, guy, tell me the truth, man. This feels substantial, doesn't it? I mean, we call it contractor grade, but does it feel like a real tool in your hand?
Oh my gosh, I think that's the first thing I noticed is that, you can go and buy cheapo tools, even at a decent hardware store, and you can tell by the gauge, right, that they're kind of cheap. This thing is like, it weighs a pound, okay? I mean, this is heavy duty, and if you look at it from sort of a side angle, you can see how heavy grade, right there, that's a great shot. See how heavy grade this is? And that actually gives you the leverage and the strength you need to be able to turn when you're doing real heavy jobs. And then they put this big comfy grip on here, which makes it really, I'll tell you, one of these, it's so funny. I got mine home. I probably use this. I use this more than any other tool in my toolbox because I can go to it. Like if I'm doing a ceiling fan or if I'm doing a doorknob, right? I know that there's a very good chance all those bolts are going to fit right here. So all I have to do is grab this and, put it in my pocket and take it where I go, Lou. I don't have to bring that whole socket set everywhere,
Yeah. Yeah, and you're not running back and forth to your toolkit trying to figure out what size socket you need because you got them right there. I'll tell you a quick little story here because I know we don't have much time, but like on my boat, when I want to pull the plug out of the back, it sits on a lift behind my house. So I'm like hanging in the air trying to get this, drain plug out of the back of it. I used to use my socket, and every time it would get stuck on the actual plug, and it just one day the socket fell off. I lost it in the water, right?
Yeah.
So now the only thing I use, I carry one of these in my boat bag. I use this because I can have this out there in the air, and I don't worry about anything falling off of this, and it does the job. This thing, you could put a lot of torque on something with this. This is a substantial tool, and I'm telling you right now, you get this, you put this in your toolkit, you are never going to regret it.
Very small but mighty and very strong, I'll tell you. And by the way, if you're thinking about gifts, maybe your gift closet for Dad. Oh, yeah, absolutely love this. Hey Lou, while I have you here, we have a quick special, and I've been struggling with my laryngitis a little bit. So while I got you, I'm gonna squeeze you and use it a little bit. So we've got our origami. This is our large heavy duty rack. We have this